The Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has started in the most gigantic way possible. We've come all the way from Wanda stuck in a sitcom to see three Spider-Man together in a single film. The two of the new character entries in the MCU are the team of Eternals and Shang-Chi. पर इन दोनों मूवीज को ऑडियंस और क्रिटिक्स से डिफरेंट रिस्पॉन्स और रिव्यूज मिले. Where Shang-Chi was met with positive reviews and grand applause from the audience and the critics, Eternals was hailed as the weakest entry in the MCU. The box office numbers gives you a clear idea that Shang-Chi thrived in the theaters and prevailed as a success, but Eternals fell short despite being directed by an Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao. Now, both of the films have a lot of similarities. They rely on flashbacks, the central characters are reckless in the beginning, they both involve giant beings in the climax, but there are some aspects that Shang-Chi handles better than Eternals. So, I'm Mr. Strange, and I'll be breaking down why Shang-Chi worked and Eternals failed. In every film, the villain or the antagonist plays a crucial role, and Wenwu is a better villain than Icarus. Now, what makes Wenwu a better villain than Icarus is his motive, his desperateness to get back to his wife, whereas Icarus's motive is his loyalty to his master, Arisham. But we never even see Icarus talk to Arisham or form a special bond with Arisham that makes him go against his team. All he does is talk about his loyalty until the climax of the film.
I exist for Arasham.
Hell, we never even see Icarus and Arisham in the same frame throughout the film. That's why Shang-Chi does a better job, because instead of saying it, it shows the villain's motive. Now, if we come to Wenwu, we first see him as an undisputed warlord on his quest to conquer absolute power until he meets a woman, Yang Li, that brings a change in his life. They interact, they fall in love, they get married, they have kids, they raise them, we actually see them lead a life. And when she dies, he resorts back to his previous ways. He builds an empire, he pushes away his kids. We see him suffer internally without his wife. Now, when he gets an opportunity to return to his wife, he goes after it, and that's a pretty good motive. He even imprisons his own kids when they tell them that his plan is insane. What I'm trying to say here is every action taken by Wenwu throughout the film is under the context of his motive to take what he lost. And such a strong motive is missing in Icarus. Now, the flashbacks in the Eternals movie shows us that the Eternals fight the deviants who try to kill the humans, and the Eternals help the humans evolve. Now, all of this is tossed aside in the future. We don't see Eternals interact with the humans or save the humans from the deviant. We always see them in some deserted or isolated places with zero human population. Basically, the flashbacks has no significance in the present. But Shang-Chi handles flashbacks way better than Eternals. When Yingli dies in the past, it sets up Wenwu's motive in the present. This specific fight move shown in the past is also shown in the present. These lockets given to Shang-Chi and his sister in the past is also used in the present for the plot progression. This monster in the past is also seen in the present. So the flashbacks in the movie Shang-Chi is used to fill in emotions and also for the groundwork of the story. Now, both the film have a relationship that plays a crucial role in the film, but the relationship in the Eternals between Icarus and Cersei is handled poorly. It's like they see each other, have sex, then get married, and then cut. What next? Absolutely nothing.
How long were you two together?
5,000 years.
The movie tells you that they live together for 5,000 years, but you never even see some glimpse of those 5,000 years.
Why did you leave?
Missed you. Something else.
The movie tells you Icarus left Cersei a century ago, but it doesn't tell you why. I mean, their chemistry is so hollow and cold, I personally didn't care for the relationship. Now, in Shang-Chi, as far as the relationship between Wenwu and Yingli is concerned, it's the heart and soul of the film. We see Wenwu fall in love with her, we see him abandon his quest, we see Yingli leave her sacred village. We see both of them raise a family, so basically we see their relationship progress from one stage to another. And when he loses his wife, we as the audience actually feel sorry for him. And when he tries to break the wall, we know why he's doing it. And when we see Icarus spare Cersei in the end of the film, his sacrifice is not as good as Wenwu's desperateness. Now, there is one significant death in both of the films. One is Ajax's death in Eternals and Yingli's death in Shang-Chi. Now, Ajax's death has no major impact in the film. When they discover her body, they don't try to find the deviant who did it. And when they tell Kingo about her death, he's more concerned about his film rather than his leader.
We just got BTS to do a cameo.
And when they give Gilgamesh the news, what do? They just sit around, have their lunch, and joke about their drinks.
I gave you the same thing, Sprite.
The film completely diminishes the weight of Ajax's death. But in Shang-Chi, when Ying Li dies, Wenwu, unlike the Eternals, tries to find the killers who did it. And when he doesn't find the killer, he trains his own son into an assassin and sends him on a hit to kill the person who killed his wife. Basically, the entire foundation of the film is Ying Li's death. Now, one of the side characters in the movie Shang-Chi is Shang-Chi's sister, Ling. When her mother dies, her father pushes her aside, he trains his son, and she is left behind and she has to train by herself. The only person she's close to is her brother Shang-Chi, but he too abandons her. She's left all alone and she has to work her way through and build a fight club. Even when she returns home, her father exclaims his son's return but not hers.
Take the girls to their room.
She finally meets her mother's sister, who gives her the confidence to grow further. She finally helps her brother to defeat the monster, and then she takes over her father's throne. So, in this film, there is a side character who has the space to grow as an individual character. Now, in Eternal, Sprite actually has a good character arc. Now, in this film, we see that Sprite doesn't age and all she wants to do is to lead the life like the others. But every time she has an emotional moment, it is ruined by nonsensical humor.
Arisha make me this way?
Like this.
I thought you broke it.
Always bring back up.
It's all over now. We get to start over somewhere new.
And this. So these are some aspects of both the films that made Shang-Chi better than Eternals. So that was the video, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Do follow me on Twitter and Instagram. This was the first video on the channel. I'll be back with more.